All right, what's going on, guys? Paul Jackson from Maher Media after a brutal home opener. That's probably the best way to describe it at this point. Not a lot of positives, a whole ton of negatives. I really don't even know where to start with this one, honestly. I think maybe the safest bet is to just talk about the environment, right? I know everything's been preached throughout the summer and over the past, pretty much year or so since Briere, Jones, and Hilferty took over as the new regime. Getting back the fan base and rejuvenating what it meant to be a Flyer, or just the general energy around the team that's been missing for so long, seemingly since Ed Snider died. It was definitely back to start things off on a positive note. It was definitely back. Guys were tailgating, around 2 o'clock. Chris and I got there around 3. So there was definitely a lot of energy there and a lot of high hopes put on this game. Unfortunately, the on-ice product was nowhere close to where it needed to be. But the positives to really take away from this, if any, are the hype around this team is back. The Flyers are 100% relevant again in Philadelphia. Matvei Michkov obviously is a huge reason for that. But just you see people that are starting to care about the team that maybe didn't care about them before, or just didn't really have an awareness about them. And that's one of the biggest things you can take away. It's such a huge positive, especially in this city. And yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest thing, right? The energy at all the different tailgates that were going on was awesome to see, especially after so many years of people with paper bags over their heads and sell the team boycotts and all that, and so many just controversial moments and not a lot of unity. So it was really cool to see that. Speaking of unity, one of the coolest experiences I think I've ever had was the pregame tribute to Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. Obviously we've talked about that and done our due diligence, I think, with that tragedy that occurred over the summer. But really cool moment by the Flyers. It was a great tribute that they had up there, and you've seen a lot of teams around the league in their tributes. They typically do a moment of silence or something like that, but this one was kind of the exact opposite. It was all about cheering, right? So they did a moment of celebration and had the entire crowd on their feet, just cheering in honor of these guys that were really iconic in the area. And the Gaudreau name will absolutely not be forgotten, right? These are two legendary names, and even Guy Gaudreau, their father, just so many local ties here, and it's never going to go unnoticed how much of an impact that family has had around here. So really cool moment. The entire crowd, into it, chanting Johnny's name. That's the type of thing that you don't forget. Yeah, I mean, that's the little positives that we have. That's all that out of the way. As for the actual game itself and the lackluster, to say the least, on-ice product was yeah, from start to finish, it was really bad. It was really bad. I thought the Zamula-Ristolainen pairing really needed a lot of work. I think they had a couple good moments where they maybe cleared the zone or made just a little stick play that stuck out. But apart from that, it was just first, second, third period, every single shift, it seemed like the Flyers were getting outmanned, outmuscled, beaten to pucks, losing puck battles even when they do get there in time. Vancouver was just all over them from the get-go, and that's the worst possible way to start your home slate of games, right? So that's the general takeaway, right? Is just how dominant Vancouver was when they had the puck, and it seemed like they almost always had the puck, right? I mean, the Flyers, they had a few opportunities, but it was almost like everything was on the rush on counters, and when they didn't work out, Vancouver goes right back on the counter and they keep possession for a while, because the Flyers were just unfortunately getting, like I said, beat to every battle, beat to every every loose puck, every bounce that Vancouver got usually went their way. And that's another one of those things. I tweeted that it was probably by the end of the second period, Konechny had just had the chance where it was like a mini breakaway, didn't bury it, and that kind of felt like it was it. That was really what the what sealed the deal for me, at least. I was like, you know what? It's just going to be one of those nights, isn't it? And unfortunately it was. And, you know, Sam Ersson, credit to him, he played a great game. I thought he was really square to the post when he needed to be. He was, you know, puts himself in a good position every time he's out there. So credit to him. I mean, he had a great start, and especially, you know, having him start the home opener after having to come in relief for 𝐊𝐈𝐂𝐿 in the Seattle game. That's, you know, I'm sure that's not something that management really wanted to happen on Thursday night. So, you know, credit to him. Great game, great effort, great effort out of him. You really can't say enough about it. I mean, this is a guy that I know a lot of people talk about the prospects, you know, Carson Bjarnason, 𝐊𝐍𝐔𝐑. I know there's a lot of really high-quality goalie prospects. 𝐊𝐍𝐔𝐑 is another one. Sam Ersson is definitely not, you know, done telling his story here with this team. And right now he is the #1 goalie. So for all we know, he could be the goalie of the future. There's so much to see with Sam Ersson that we just, the potential is completely untapped, right? Like, I think people forget how highly touted Ersson was as a goalie prospect before the Flyers had the 2023 draft, right? So people need to, you know, really think about what they have in Ersson, because we truly don't know. We truly don't know. And what we've seen already is promising. So, yeah, I mean, credit to him. Great effort tonight. I think the team in front of him was just a step behind at all times. And even when they were kind of matching Vancouver's pace, it seemed like none of the passes were connecting on the tape. Guys couldn't receive passes. Every play was like a broken play, or never really had a chance of developing into anything high quality or dangerous to begin with. So, you know, it's one of those things where you do eventually get the chances, and if something does bounce your way, you don't finish it, right? And that's what's going to kill you. So, yeah, I mean, the Vancouver Canucks played a great game tonight, and they definitely earned that shutout. Kevin Lankinen was pretty solid in net, but you know, you can only really give a guy so much credit when everything that he's facing is being directed right at his chest, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's a classic case of not finishing the chances that you're given. So, Fly guys definitely have to step that up if they want to win these games down the stretch, because I know it's only game 5, but it's one of those ones that you really can't, not a ton that you can do, right? Not all the bounces are going your way, and you just can't seem to get anything going. That's fine. Every team has games like that every year. It's going to happen. But after back-to-back chokes against Edmonton in overtime and then Seattle, you just can't have a game like that where you come out flat. And I know the lineup was a little interesting. Sean Couturier started out on the 4th line as a winger, which is not something that we've really seen since Claude Giroux was still on the team. And that was when Giroux was, you know, still locked up for a little bit of time. So kind of puts it into perspective how long it's been since we've seen Coots out there playing the wing and not down the middle. But yeah, I mean, I thought Couturier actually had a pretty good game. So credit to him. He did get bumped up in the lineup a little bit as the game went on. So, yeah, I mean, you know, the captain, if anybody, if you had to pick a forward that maybe stuck out, I would say it's probably him. Konechny had a few chances. Tippett, again, also had a few chances, but unfortunately none of those guys could finish where it mattered. So that's kind of the story of the game. And, yeah, I mean, that pretty much does it, I think. It's really disappointing that they didn't capitalize on such a huge night, because the turnout was unreal. I've never seen the barn that packed. Just from start to finish, warm-ups and everything, like, there was a lot of people at warm-ups, and if you know anything about warm-ups, usually there's a lot of empty seats. So to see as many people that were there and ready to go for warm-ups, and then as it went on through pregame ceremonies, intros, and the national anthem, the Johnny Gaudreau tribute, it was packed. And yeah, it's just really a missed opportunity there. At this point, they got Washington coming on Tuesday, so that should be an interesting game, because Washington's in a unique boat. They have definitely an older core. Alex Ovechkin is trying to chase Gretzky. So, yeah, I mean, you know, he's going to be gunning for goals, and they've gotten a couple reinforcements. Andrew Mangiapane, they added a couple guys, right? So Jacob Chikrin, he's another one. We'll see how that one plays out. But yeah, that pretty much does it for tonight. Really disappointing. And, yeah, unfortunately they couldn't get the job done, but yeah, we'll see what happens on Tuesday. So thank you guys for sticking around for our coverage throughout the day, checking this one out, and yeah, see you guys next time.